Funny enough, Kyle, unfortunately, I forgot to go ahead and move a bunch of our thumbnails over here to start the news. But hey, everybody, guess what? It's April 23rd, 2021. Welcome to the NPCs Weekly News Roundup. Of course, I got no thumbnails to go through right now. I deleted all those. I didn't move any of the other ones over, but at least tell you a couple of the stories we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and what has actually been found out about the refunds. We're also going to be talking about Jeff Kaplan leaving Blizzard after all these years. And of course, we're going to be talking about the Resident Evil 4 remake coming to Oculus Quest as well. So we're going to roll that intro and hopefully not break anything else tonight. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another NPCs Weekly News Roundup for the week of November 20th, 2020. It is Friday. It is, where's my date? It's September 18th, 2020 here to our first story, and this is actually breaking news for all of us right now here too. Figured this is a kind of a big one to cover, of course, with who it is. Joined via Discord by Kyle because we're in the midst of a pandemic still, and of course everything is all kinds of crazy. So this thing is a chonker. I mean,
yeah, it's a beast.
It's huge. Doing that we had the Resident Evil stuff, that they were successful with Castlevania. Welcome to another NPC's Weekly News Roundup. And it's the news time. I am joined, of course, by Kyle via Discord. Kyle, hello.
What's up?
Man. Oh, God. And Kyle's too big. Oh, no. I screwed up everything. Oh, God. Okay, let me resize Kyle. Hang on.
Oh, man. This is awesome.
Are we good? Are we good? Hey, I got him back, I think. He's not as centered, though. Everything's broken. You know what? No. Kyle, you're fine over there. You're good. Scoot yourself over a little bit if you have to.
Okay.
Perfect. Yay.
Yay. Okay, is that better? Are we rolling now?
I don't know how I broke everything. I'm sorry. Well, welcome everybody to another NPC's Weekly News Roundup. Of course, I already said that, and everything else is already chaotic as is, but welcome everybody. And of course, Kyle's here with me. Discord, pandemic, you guys already know how everything goes. Hey, Kyle.
What's up?
What is up indeed, dude? How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
You recovering okay after your COVID vaccine? You're what now? About 2 weeks out from it, so.
Oh yeah, like just over 2 weeks. So I'm doing fine now.
Woo!
You've got your second one coming up here soon, don't you? Or did you already get yours?
I've already had my second, and I am proud to say that I have not suffered like everybody else.
Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky.
I don't know what I did. I honestly don't know what I did to be as lucky as I am, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm not doing anything special. I'm not really doing anything at all there to make it all exciting. I gotta adjust my camera too. My stuff is all screwed up. I think someone's been messing with my stuff, and actually, to be honest, it's probably been me. Okay, is that better? Okay, well, shit. Everything is broken. Everything is broken when you let me mess with it. I can't sing again.
Geez.
All right,
yeah.
So we got a lot of good news stories there for you guys. So we're just going to hop right into the first one. And this one's actually interesting to see disclosed. But this story comes to us from Polygon. And CD Projekt refunded 30,000 copies of Cyberpunk 2077 out of the 13 million. Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous launch led to very few refunds, according to CD Projekt Red CFO Pyotr Nilbowitz, who shared details on the situation during an earnings call with investors. The dystopian Cyberpunk RPG sold 13.7 million copies, but the developer only issued 30,000 refunds. Players were also able to get refunds through Sony and Microsoft, which were not included in this tally. In December 2020, Sony not only offered full refunds for customers who purchased a digital copy, but they removed the game from the PlayStation Store. Cyberpunk 2077 has yet to return to the PlayStation Store despite patches that have fixed hundreds of bugs with varying levels of success. CD Projekt set up a Help Me Refund program to help dissatisfied customers, which cost approximately $2.17 million. 95% of these refunds have been processed. Nilbowitz explained on the call that the final 5% of refunds are currently being processed but are taking longer due to complications. Please take into consideration that we are refunding people all over the world and working with different banking systems is not an easy task, he said. CD Projekt Red has been forced to change track on Cyberpunk 2077 after the game's launch because of the game issues on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 consoles. In February, the developer had to contend with a cyber attack from hackers who claimed to have source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and an unreleased version of The Witcher 3. Patch 1.2 was delayed from February to March because of complications from the attack. Despite these issues, the Polish developer enjoyed a profitable 2020, taking in over $560 million in revenue. Future updates for Cyberpunk 2077 are currently in development, including an online mode. So, we actually got ourselves some good information revealed about what happened with the refunds for Cyberpunk, and I think that's actually good that we got at least some information. But it's a surprise that it's only 30,000.
Yeah. I don't know. Could they be fudging that number a little bit?
Well,
I kind of wonder.
the problem
But
though is
they
that
did say it doesn't tally any of the online sales
That's
that
true.
were digital. So
yeah, which those
Um,
I've got to imagine are going to be released soon. It's got to be
yeah.
soon. But I wonder though, like I don't think they'd fudge it. Normally when you have types of like these releases to investors and such, usually it's a pretty like rounded number. You know, like for customers they might say they have like 16.3 million, and that's usually what's presented in the documents. They don't usually go down to the granular numbers. So 30,000 is probably within the scope of what they can, you know, like what they're legally able to publish without going too in depth on it. So I think 30,000 is probably okay, but it just still seems like such a low number. And you're right, we're not taking into account any of the digital sales,
Right.
which I kind of would think that if we've got these things now, are we going to be seeing them here very soon? You know, are we going to actually be seeing these
Yeah.
numbers?
I don't know. There's so many things that make me wonder about this though too. Like, I it, is it just like physical sales for like the standard edition copy? Do they not count collector's editions? How are they counting the physical copies? Is that, like a total off of both systems, or is that about what they were off of both systems? I you know
Yeah,
I
this doesn't
guess
say what it takes into account
it,
other than just
it's
consoles.
very
So
vague. Yeah.
yes, so you're talking a mix of PlayStation
hmm
4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, but that's it. You know, I'm sure that it probably had to be more. It had to be at least. I'm
Right.
sure there had to be a hell of a lot more with how much uproar there was with what had happened. So I'm guessing we'll just hear more as time goes on. Again, just our usual spiel on these things.
Yeah. I'd like to see a more I don't know, a, a more specific breakdown of how each of the numbers work out, and like when they actually get the digital sales, and if these numbers actually did include the deluxe editions and the collector's editions, or if it was just standard editions or all the editions that they released. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I've got to imagine that as they still finish up the processing and whatever Microsoft and Sony come back with on the digital refunds, and then of course anything if Steam actually did anything, and then of course GOG, wherever this was available at, I'm sure those numbers will start probably coming to light here. I've got to imagine soon. So 30,000 is the starting point, but we know it's definitely more.
That being said, the officially announced refund window for the game was actually fairly short, if I remember. It was only
Yeah, it
like a
was.
week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
So,
about 2 weeks was all because they said it was going to be
yeah,
up until the point of this first patch coming out. I think it was like the 1.1 patch. Once that
hmm
dropped, then that was it.
right.
Yeah. So,
So,
yeah. And I can at least say, I mean, we've talked about it a couple times before. The 1.2 patch that came out in March, that was supposed to come out in February, like we just talked about in the story, that one did fix my issues on PC. Everything seems to be running fine. I just haven't touched Cyberpunk in a while because I don't know. I just haven't wanted to play it lately. There's other things that I enjoy just wasting my time in, I suppose. So
It's okay, me neither.
yeah,
So
see, there we go. It's not just us, everybody. It's not just us.
yeah,
So all right.
life happens. Other games happen.
God, don't talk to me about life happening. I'm tired of life happening. I just want life to just pump the brakes for a few minutes and just let me breathe. But that's a discussion for another day. With that, Kyle, let's talk about our next story here from Kotaku about a Battlefield game coming out this year. What is happening
Yeah.
here?
Today EA announced it's working on 2 new Battlefield games and promised a console slash PC release later for later this year. We have our biggest teams ever on Battlefield games working for console and PC, wrote DICE general manager Oscar Gabrielson. Together, we are creating a jaw-dropping experience for you to enjoy later in 2021. Gabrielson said the game is currently in playtesting and teased a reveal to come soon. In addition to a new console and PC release, Gabrielson also announced Battlefield will be coming to mobile devices in 2022.
Hmm.
I'm super happy to be able to, yeah, I'm super happy to be able to let you know that our friends at Industrial Toys are working closely with all of us here at DICE and are developing a new Battlefield games, bringing out all new warfare games to tablets and smartphones in 2022, Gabrielson said. Gabrielson also said that the mobile Battlefield would be a completely different game from what we're making from console and PC. Details about the 2 Battlefield games are forthcoming, so in the meantime, players can occupy themselves with Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, that's jeez.
Just to continue on the article, I had to finish that one out because of you know.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. So, 2 new Battlefield games, and one of them being a mobile game. I guess the mobile gaming space, at least on smartphones, is an interesting one. But I think things like PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile have really kind of set the standard for like a mobile shooter, I guess. And seeing Battlefield come to the phone, especially like in a configuration similar to that, I guess wouldn't be bad. But I think the problem is that a lot of people are starting to kind of drift away from their phones, I take that back. They're not drifting away from their phones necessarily to play games elsewhere. It's like they're playing games differently on their phones though now, especially with Xbox game streaming becoming, as big as it has been, and GeForce Now, Steam Link stuff. It's all still there, so it's
even before that, mobile game industry has blown up. It's the biggest game industry currently. So it's actually kind of remarkable that some of the big wigs in the industry, that produce the AAA titles consistently, haven't put more out on mobile devices, I think.
Maybe that could just be because they didn't feel like the effort was really there and that they were going to be able to actually make any money off of it, or at least be able to do well with it. Because you've got to think, like we've talked about this before, and you know what, actually you say what you're going to say first. I'll get into my part here in a second.
I was going to say the developer doesn't make a whole lot of money on the actual like software themselves, and the publisher is actually making money generated off the microtransactions. So I mean, I don't know. I guess it's more beneficial to the publisher than it really is the developer to produce such software.
True. So. And I mean, you look at the barrier to kind of enter the mobile gaming space anyway, too. If you're not something that's a name brand or something that really has the push and the clout behind it, it doesn't really feel like it's going to succeed out there. So it's not necessarily a shock that you don't see, is much more out there. But look at what has happened in the last few years, especially with these older games that have been ported to phone that end up actually playing really well too. We've had the Final Fantasies, we had KOTOR. I know Doom 1 and 2, of course, have been put on freaking everything, but I'm just saying at least it's there.
Right.
And then, of course, the advent of actual gaming smartphones, stuff from Asus, from Lenovo, at least those are the two that come to the right off the top of my head. I know there are more out there, but what I'm what I'm curious to find out though is what the game is going to be like anyway for mobile. I know the rumor right now, of course, on the PC side is that the battle royale scene for that is going to be different because yes, everything needs a battle royale. I just don't know I'm curious to find out what it's going to be like on the phone. What it's going to be.
You know what I'd like to see?
Hmm.
Battlefield 1942 mobile.
Yes.
Just port the original PC game, put it on mobile, remaster it, and charge people $19.99. If you did that, you would sell a lot of copies of Battlefield 1942 mobile.
Absolutely, and also somehow include modern combat into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I would play the hell out of that.
You think about it, the servers for that particular game, they weren't too horrendous. I mean, and the maps weren't too big either. You could still do improvements on the graphics. I don't think it's too far of a stretch for them to be able to do. I don't see them doing it unless they can put microtransactions into it, destroy it. But
well, let's see. DICE is an EA company. EA is very well known for their microtransaction stuff, so I think we're going to be seeing something microtransaction related here. It'll be the free to play with the advancements being paid for, in a battle pass or whatever.
I think that's the new format though, is battle passes. Everyone loves battle passes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because you can pay, what is it for Call of Duties, $25 and unlock 20 or 30 tiers.
And you're unlocking content to keep for your lifetime, but it's only available to earn during that season. And I don't know.
Exactly.
And then it's a competition as well. So I don't know.
I still am curious though to see on the mobile front, just because of how many people have really changed their gameplay styles now. Especially like the Switch is another good example of being able to take that with you to play games. But I'll check it out, when it comes out. I played Call of Duty Mobile. I played PUBG Mobile. I had fun with those. I just am genuinely curious to see what they're going to do, if it is going to be anything different. If it is, that would be neat to actually see, like, hey, Battlefield 1942 remastered, and it works so well on your phone, even these older phones can play it. We're not going to hold anybody back. So I think that would be by far one of the coolest things. So I'm going to hold you to it, Kyle. If it doesn't happen, I know where you live. And I will I will write out a strongly worded letter.
As long as it's not like, like squad turn-based RPG where it's just random encounter battles over and over again, I'll be fine.
It'll probably be that now. See, you said it. Now it's going to happen.
Oh, God, don't. No.
The EA guy is taking notes on the other side here of the stream. Stop that.
Yeah. Put down the pen.
Put down the pen.
Clacking of the
Put
keys.
down the iPad stylus, okay? Put down the Apple Pen. Put down the Surface Pen. Back away.
Just go back to the 1942.
Do that, yeah. Go play some Titanfall 2. Go see what's going on with Titanfall 3, and then get back to us. Anyway, so on the PC console side, though, I don't really think there's much to expect there. It'll probably be a good single player campaign. We'll probably have really good multiplayer, just like we already have now. The expansion into the battle royale scene, and then of course the rumors we've talked about previously with the new Battlefield game supposedly not even coming out on previous generation consoles. So we're not going to see it on Xbox One or PlayStation 4. It's going to be specifically PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. So.
Honestly, after seeing what happened with Battlefield 4, I think it's for the best.
Yeah, I guess. I installed that game on my computer to really put some time into it, and to be honest with you, I don't really care anymore. It was that quick.
I had rebought the game when it was digitally, actually, when it was on sale for like $1.98 or something on my Xbox, and it deleted my data so many times when I picked up my Xbox One. When I started playing it, even when I tried to play a few matches of multiplayer, aside from doing the campaign, I was just like, Man, this game just destroyed me. I can't even play it now.
It's even worse now,
Like
especially
I've
with
had dreams or something that it's just gonna delete my data if I try.
it's worse now, especially when you get so used to the controls in like Warzone, for example, and trying to adapt back. It just
Hmm.
it doesn't work.
Oh
It just
yeah.
really doesn't feel like it. But anyway, so Battlefield probably will be announced coming up here. We're coming up on E3 actually really quick. So if you haven't, gotten yourself ready to watch any of EA stuff for E3 or get ready for anything there, you better be getting yourself set up and ready to go for that. In the meantime, to keep yourself entertained, we've also got this other news story for you. And this one's going to be a fun one, especially for all you Xbox players out there. This story here comes to us from VG247. Xbox Live Gold is no longer required to play free-to-play titles online. Woo! Yay! Oh, I'm the only one excited.
Insanity. What happened? What
I know,
happened?
right? It's official. You no longer need an Xbox Live Gold account in order to play online multiplayer and free-to-play titles on Xbox consoles. Today, Microsoft is making online multiplayer and free-to-play games available on Xbox without an Xbox Live Gold membership. So, as of now, Xbox players will be able to access online multiplayer at no charge for a library of over 50 free-to-play games that support online multiplayer. The games that are now free to play online without gold are listed below, and more will be added over time. So I'm going to name off some of the ones here, of course, a lot of people know. Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, DC Universe Online. Jesus Christ, dogs are
One
running around again.
one that
Fortnite.
is kind of crazy. Crackdown and Crackdown 2.
Yeah, Crackdown,
Those
Crackdown
are
2. Are those still
those are
supported?
360 games. Those are actually given away by Xbox for free, I think. At least Crackdown is.
Okay.
Like if you have an Xbox, you can just download it.
I will have to go look and see if I can grab those then.
Oh.
Let's see here. We've got Path of Exile. Killer Instinct is on here. Roblox, Resident Evil Revelations 2, Rocket League, Smite. I'm surprised that there's no mention of Minecraft on here, but interesting.
I'm yeah, that is kind of weird. But
Mm-hmm.
it is a paid for game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, you got like Neverwinter. What are some other ones? Fantasy Star. That's really big right now. I got into that during the open beta.
Yeah, I think this is a really good list
Yeah.
though, because everything I'm seeing here, at least the ones that I can like really pick out, are definitely the ones that people are still playing anyway, like no matter what. I mean, obviously your givens of the top titles right now, but there's a lot of other ones on here I'm seeing that just definitely look like ones that people are still playing.
And there may or may not have been a few on the list that that they missed, or who knows.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, you can always check the list out. I'm sure at VG247 or through Microsoft's website or through the Xbox website,
Yep, most
or
likely.
plug in your console and check it out. They're free to download. I'm sure there's a whole new section. I haven't actually
That was
turned
what
on
I
my
was.
Xbox in
That was
quite a while.
that was what I was about to say. Is that I'm sure that they probably have a section that says free to play online, and so they'll
Yeah.
probably have something like that coming up here very soon. If they have it curated like that, cool. If not, it probably will be something that will roll out for Xbox players to see shortly. But
Right.
I mean, that's all the fun stuff on Xbox Live. That's really good on Microsoft to go ahead and start doing that now. But of course, we got to move into one of the two title stories for tonight. Kyle's going to go ahead and talk about this one. And this one was actually a shock, I think, to both of us that we were actually
You
even
gotta have
seeing
me
anything
talk
happen
about
here.
this one, huh?
Yeah, congrats. You have earned this one, Kyle.
Ugh.
So let's go ahead and talk about this one from GameSpot, talking about Jeff Kaplan leaving Blizzard.
After nearly 2 decades at Blizzard Entertainment, Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan is leaving. Kaplan announced his departure in a personal statement, which, while an official post on the Overwatch website wished him well and explained what happened to the game's management structure in his absence. I'm leaving Blizzard Entertainment after 19 amazing years, Kaplan said in a statement. It was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games, our uh, developers that shared in the journey of creation with me. Now, accept the world as it appears to me to be. Always dare to see it for what it could be. I hope you do the same. GG, Jeff Kaplan. Kaplan is, of course, beloved in the Overwatch community as a source of information, discussion, and many memes. But his long career at Blizzard has spanned multiple titles, including the company's other juggernauts, World of Warcraft, along with these two games. He also worked on Warcraft 3 and the ill-fated Titan, which became Overwatch. Uh, Aaron Keller, who has lengthy history at Blizzard and has been a key developer in the creation of Overwatch, will take over directorial duties for Overwatch 2. Uh, in the post, Keller also spoke to the departure of Kaplan and the future of Overwatch. Jeff's been a great leader, mentor, and friend, and he knows how much we're going to miss him. I've been lucky to work alongside him and the rest of the Overwatch team for many years in building something that continues to inspire people all around the world, and I'm honored to carry the torch forward. I love Overwatch from our first piece of concept art to the first map we built, to the first time I was able to run around as Tracer, who at an early point shot laser beams out of her eyes. This game has just clicked with me. I love its inspiring, hopeful, beautiful world worth fighting for. I love its characters, larger than life, colorful, powerful, and global. And most of all, I love the fast, fluid gameplay requiring teamwork, situational awareness, and quick decision making. I also recognize that making games at Blizzard has also always been a group effort and never about just one point of view. Together with the rest of the team, I feel fortunate that we have a deep bench of development and creative leaders, numerous veterans, Blizzard artists and designers, and some extremely talented new blood, as well as along with tons of support throughout the company for the li- life of the game of Overwatch 2. While I have no pretense about filling, Jeff's shoes, I'm excited to step into the game director's role and continue as part of the team that's putting all the heart, talent, and focus into the next iteration of Overwatch. And I'm honored to continue serving this incredible community. According to Keller, Overwatch 2 development is continuing at a good pace, and the team has exciting reveal planned for this year and beyond. We'll be sharing more frequent updates on Overwatch 2, of course, through us, and you can spot them through GameStop. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, interestingly enough, of course, yeah. I mean, this is a surprise that Jeff Kaplan
yeah,
is
it's
leaving.
so abrupt.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, to us, it was abrupt.
I think
I
one of the
mean, we're
biggest
not as.
things that I'm concerned or that I'm interested in
Mm,
is what does happen next with Overwatch 2. Um, how much of it is going to change now going forward now that Jeff isn't going to be there? I mean, hopefully they've all been working on the same game anyway, from the original Overwatch, even going back to Project Titan. It's just curious to see what's going to happen. And on top of it, where I'm cautiously optimistic, at least, is that Jeff is not leaving, or, Jeff hadn't already left. And then this new director that's coming in, who had already been working there for some time anyway, is being announced as leaving, just as quickly or something. It's not like an
oh
exodus of
God!
people or a
Don't say
revolving
that.
door of people. If it is, goddamn, just take me out back and shoot me. I didn't mean to really, throw that out there as a possibility, but at least it's not that right now, and that's good.
Right.
It looks like Kaplan. I mean, he had 19 years with Blizzard. He has a lot of work that he's done in the games themselves out there. Big inspiration for a lot of things. We're all going to miss the "Hey, it's Jeff from the Overwatch team" videos, but at least it looks like things are going to be in good hands. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but Hmm.
Yeah. God damn it.
What a pain in the ass.
Yeah. No, no, for sure. Um, I think going forward, the fact that I've already spaced his name, the guy that's taken over for Jeff, he's worked with the team.
Aaron Keller.
Yeah, Aaron Keller. Thank you. Um, but I don't know. Also, in his statement, though it was abrupt for us, like I said, it sounds like it it was an okay departure. It wasn't like we're burning bridges with this one. That Jeff probably was wanting to either go out and do his own thing or take a break for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So
Could be that. I imagine if he ends up being picked up by Mike Morhame's new development studio.
oh whoa, I didn't even
Imagine
think
Jeff
about
Kaplan
that.
just shows up there. Yeah.
That'd be crazy. What if he was like already recruited? He couldn't leave his baby just yet.
Hi, I'm Jeff from the Watchover team, here with Mike Morhaime releasing our new game Watchover, and it's going to be great. It's going to have all this single player content in it. We're not going to focus on multiplayer. Just throw everything around completely.
Oh wow.
One,
Yeah.
one, just let that be one thing.
Oh man.
But I think, you know what? I think you're right. I think everything's going to be fine. I think everything's going to be in good hands, though. I'm just cautiously optimistic because I'm just surprised. We still haven't had a date yet. We still haven't really seen much else. I know, of course, there was BlizzCon Line a couple months ago, but even since then, everything's been radio silent.
Right.
Yeah. So,
But we do know that it's gonna get pushed. It got pushed back a little bit, so we've got to wait right now. I don't think that's a big shocker at this point,
I don't think so either.
but I just hope it doesn't affect the development schedule any further.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear, too, is that, you know, if it was somebody new from the outside, like they brought in Rod Ferguson, who was originally a director with the Coalition working on Gears of War. They brought him in to work on Diablo 4. He was from the outside. He wasn't from someone within the company itself. So at least Aaron Keller is within the group already and has been there doing things for some time alongside
Right.
Jeff even. So that's where, it gives me at least a little bit more hope that things should relatively stay the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's move on, Kyle, to our next story.
Yeah.
You ready for this one? Actually, you should already be ready for this one because we had a lot of chaos trying to play on this last night, didn't we?
Yeah, we experienced it kind of. Yeah, that was not my night for that game.
It was not, and that's okay. It happens to the best of us. But let's go ahead and hop in and talk about this one here. And this is actually the second title story for tonight. From PCGamer.com, Call of Duty Warzone Event Part 2 throws players into the new map with a bang. After the destruction of Verdansk event that ended Call of Duty Warzone's entire map ended with Call of Duty Warzone's entire map getting nuked, today's Part 2 event introduces the new map by turning back Warzone's clock. Goodbye Verdansk, hello Verdansk 84. The destruction of Verdansk Part 2 event, which many players were locked out of due to server capacity, began with a brief return to Rebirth Island set 15 minutes before Part 1. The only objective was to secure a nuclear device and hold on to it while other teams fought it to take it. It was basically a high-stakes version of Hot Potato. Whichever team was holding the nuclear device, once it was fully charged, was able to launch the nukes to destroy Verdansk. Let me see here. I'll try to pause the Tim the Tatman video there. Pause this one too. Dang autoplay. Let's see. So from the author here of the article on PC Gamer, he says he was stuck in the server queue, but he watched his streamer Tim the Tatman squad successfully held onto the device until the very end. Once the nukes went off, the screen cut to black and played a cutscene that saw time literally rewind. Then, without interruption, players were thrown directly into Warzone's new map, Verdansk 84. We got a sneak preview of Verdansk 84 last week and pointed out some of the biggest changes to look for. It's still Verdansk in spirit, but every corner of the massive region was retouched in one way or another. Also learned following the events of this week, players will never again visit present-day Verdansk. So I'll bring up Tim the Tatman's stream here, of course. I know it's a little quieter there on our side, but Yeah. But I watched Tim the Tatman. I watched Dr. Disrespect with this to see what was going to happen. So I saw parts 1 and 2. Of course, part 1 is big zombie event, then with a nuke being dropped, and then you were kicked out and you can only play on Rebirth Island. And then on part 2, of course, like they said, you were on Rebirth Island 15 minutes before you dropped the nuke. And then once you dropped the nuke, you were immediately taken back and dropped in to Verdansk 84.
Hmm. Not quite
Yeah.
as not quite as intricate as like a Fortnite event, but that's okay.
I think they just can't go as goofy with the like Fortnite does.
Yeah.
This just doesn't scream that. Zombies, that's kind of a Call of Duty staple since Black Ops anyway, but I just don't think they could have gone terribly far.
Yeah.
But the fact though that
I wouldn't want them to, honestly, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I feel like they could have done more for like the event.
the number of people jumping in banana suits. I don't know if we really need that.
Oh God,
Or
no.
giant tomato heads, or doing the what is it, flossing up on the top of hospital.
Oh, please no.
See, you
Please,
started it.
no.
I'm finishing it here now. You're
Please no.
welcome. But I think it was handled pretty well. We played last night. You and I did, and of course, we had a couple technical issues. I think our biggest one that was very noticeable was when we first spawned in on helicopters now instead of in the big C5. We had some texture issues there where we were rendering in looking like we were evolving from PlayStation 1 all the way up through till current generation. And I thought it was part of the game itself, like just a little Easter egg thing showing how things were working. And sure enough, I don't think that was the case. I think it was just the game itself. But
yeah, that's just Call of Duty running like Call of Duty.
what's a surprise, though, is just like what Raven Software had said, is that they are not going to be bringing back the original Verdansk map. So with the original not coming back and we've got Verdansk 84, I'm assuming that the next season rolling around is going to be us, fighting out something in the giant crater that was Verdansk then, right? Best guess?
I guess, yeah.
I mean,
That
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to speculate. Especially, with Ravensoft at the helm right now, or at least having influence on what's going on, I would say I have no idea.
I get you. Don't worry. I understand. People are going to start finding Easter eggs here pretty quick. We're going to start hearing more about stuff very soon, where people are going to be like, "Oh, did you happen to notice that this was over here now, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this?" It's going to be that way coming up over at least the next couple of weeks as people start to data mine and start to find these interesting things around the map. So, don't worry. I just figured I'd get your opinion on it, wondering if we were going to go back in time or back forward in time to the crater that was Verdansk.
I honestly don't think so. I could see them going forward in time, but to finally change the map, if anything.
To a full brand new one that's not Verdansk in general.
I think that that would be the next evolution of the Warzone. I don't think if we go further in time ahead again, unless they do something crazy and try and do future again. God, I hope not.
I don't really want any infinite warfare or advanced warfare. I don't want that, please. I'd much rather they just do a Modern Warfare 2 and do it in the spirit of what the Modern Warfare single player was like, the most recent single player, but then take the elements from Modern Warfare 2 and incorporate those in. I think that's what it should really be next. But that's just me as a COD fan. That's just me. Anyway, of course, we still got more stories to talk about, everybody. So Kyle is going to talk to us about this one here. Kyle, it's time to talk some Resident Evil 4. You got a what?
Oh, it was a pop-up from the website.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
That's all right. It's fine.
How dare Games Radar? But that's okay.
That's okay. So let's talk about Resident Evil 4 VR.
4.
We talked about this last week a little bit.
Yeah, it's getting a VR release in 2021. At least that's where the window's at. Oculus Studios and Armature Studios have released a 2020 release window for Resident Evil 4 VR, as well as numerous other details about Oculus Quest 2 exclusives. During the first ever Oculus Gaming Showcase today, Oculus Studios executive producer Ruth Brahm confirmed that Resident Evil 4 VR is launching on Oculus Quest 2 later this year. Brahm also explained some of the differences between the original 2005 release and the VR version, which is fully remastered. My colleagues at Oculus Studios are working closely with Armature and Capcom to rework the entire game for VR, Brahm said. Every corner of the world is being enhanced and remastered to feel fresh and exciting to OGs to the new fans alike by ratcheting up one suspense as only VR can. In total, over 4,500 textures have been repainted with their resolutions increased, but character animations and cutscenes will look the same as they always have, just with improved visual fidelity. A number of significant design updates have been made to suit the VR format. The most immediately apparent being the new first-person perspective. You'll also be able to pick up and interact with objects like ammo, keys, and treasure, and switch between weapons simply by grabbing them from your belt rather than navigating a menu, similar to Arizona Sunshine. And yes, the last bit means you can equip a different weapon to each hand. As with most AAA VR games, you'll be able to choose whether you want to move around with the analog sticks or by teleporting. And you can play the whole game either sitting or standing. While we, so that's actually really cool. I hate teleportation movement.
Imagine you teleport to the wrong spot and there's Las Plagas staring you right in the face.
Well, for me, like, I guess I haven't really tried to do any other type of movement system with the Resident Evil. What was it? 7 VR. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 VR. But when I was playing it with, I want to say I think I was trying to play it with the wands, and yeah, you have to use the teleportation system, and I don't get motion sick playing video games. In fact, when I play Rogue Squadron, I'm constantly doing barrel rolls. Like if you were to watch my video, most people, even if they don't get motion sick, would get motion sick. But I don't know, the teleportation kind of makes me a little queasy.
That's interesting that there's enough of that to mess with you. I guess
I don't know if it's just the way the camera shifts, or like a thing on the edge of the vision, or I don't know. It messes with my eyes, and yeah, it makes me kind of queasy.
I think VR in general, of course, is supposed to pull you out of reality when you're interacting in these games too. And so, of course, there's a lot of that expectation in your head that you're gonna to walk or run to get to a place, you know, just based on what you're seeing. And unfortunately, that ends up not being the case. So yeah, using the teleport functionality, I think, can throw your body off pretty quick. So I get that. I do understand that. I have a problem with VR in some cases. I played Eve Valkyrie back after the PlayStation VR first dropped, and even that alone messed with me. But you know, I think for something like this, at least they're giving you like several different options on how to actually play it, which is cool. So you're not going to actually just be hamstrung by saying, okay, you're either going to be sitting down playing with a controller, or you're going to be standing up and doing the teleport to go place to place. So I think that's neat.
You know what I think is neat? You can wield guns in both hands. Does that mean you can like just dual wield whatever guns you want?
It doesn't say yet, so maybe yes. Dual wield rocket launchers.
I'm thinking like Broken Butterfly, Chicago typewriter, you know?
Here comes Leon Kennedy around the corner.
Right.
Ah!
Just mowing guys down.
Oh, absolutely. And Alex here adds on Facebook, how's the knife fight with Krauser going to go in VR? I find that a bit hard to imagine. Gotta remember the knife fight.
That is a good question.
Here. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they might have to do either a QTE sequence or probably change the fight up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah, I had to go
Yeah.
back and actually look up the video here again because it's been long enough since I played RE4. I think it would have to be a quick time event. Like, yeah, I think that's what this is going to have to be. So it doesn't
Yeah.
really surprise me, honestly.
And it could even switch to like cinematic view camera and just QTE event type thing.
Well, you imagine you were just talking about how teleporting around in that in playing VR games makes you feel sick. Imagine this knife fight and nothing really changes there, that it's not a QTE, that you actually have to move up and down and around and teleport all over the place. You were going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to record anything for like a solid week just because of how disoriented you still will be.
I'll have like vertigo for like 5 days from like 2 minutes of trying to record.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, that's gonna. That's the only thing I need to hear. Yeah, I can't record. I'm still feeling like I drunk from playing this game after a week ago. Jeez, really?
I don't know. As long as you can use the analog stick, I'm sure I'll be fine. And like they were saying that that's one of the features that they want to have. I'll be curious to see how it turns out. That is one of the things I really liked about the Wii version, and I've talked about it on our just list stuff before,
Mm-hmm.
that if you were missing on the Wii version, it was you that was missing, because if you were shaking it all, it registered everything.
Yep. And so maybe there was just that idea that, hey, this actually ended up being a really like good seller on the Wii. I wonder if bringing it into VR and adapting, half of that over and then adding in the rest of the VR stuff would make sense. And then of course throwing in the first person vibe. So that's very true about that, and that's very right. And I think VR games have gotten from being kind of niche, being being these quick little things to play, to actually have more of the immersion into them. So I think actually Resident Evil 4 going VR and being on the Oculus Quest is going to be a pretty good choice. Should actually run pretty well, I would think.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things being remade and going places that, we don't even really know where they're going anyway. That was a terrible segue. I apologize for that. So we got this story here on our list from IGN. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake reportedly coming from Port Studio Asper. A remake of the 2003
Aspire,
BioWare.
isn't it?
Is it Aspire? I thought it was Asper.
I think it's Aspire.
Aspire. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. Aspire Media. Okay. A remake of the 2003 BioWare RPG Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is reportedly in the works at Port Studio Aspire Media. The news was revealed by Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier during an interview with Ben Hansen of MinMax. This is public at this point. I've basically confirmed that Aspire, which is the company that has ported a bunch of KOTOR games, is working on the remake, Schreier said. Eurogamer subsequently backed up that assertion, saying that it had also heard of Aspire's involvement. While the developer is known for often releasing straight ports, work is currently underway to make the project more of a remake instead. Aspire has recently released a number of Star Wars ports, most recently the PS4 and Switch version of Star Wars Republic Commando. Rumors of a KOTOR remake have been swirling for some time, with reports from January 2020 suggesting that the game was in development and would integrate elements from the first two games in order to bring certain things into the current Star Wars canon. Mr. Matty Plays from Last Stand Media's Defining Duke podcast also started piecing this together more definitively in February of 2021. Schreier then tweeted in February of 2020, if it's really happening, it's not at EA. In January of this year, we heard reports that the remake was in the works, but not at EA or original developer BioWare, and Aspire fits that bill. So, a KOTOR remake at this point in time, especially with a lot of the past stuff being retconned, with Disney, of course, acquiring LucasArts and that, is this going to stay tried and true to what KOTOR originally was, just with the enhancements? Or are we going to see things put into here, like it even said, to fit into canon? Does that mean that we're going to be seeing some things altered that line up more with the movies than they do with what the expanded universe was.
I'm curious. Have you tried out Knights of the Old Republic on your Series X?
No, I haven't.
You should download it and give it a shot. It looks actually ridiculously good in comparison to. I mean, it didn't
Nice.
look like a terrible game before,
Right.
but it looks actually really good with the upscaling. You should check it out.
Okay. Okay, I'll
I've
make sure to
watched a few
go.
videos on it, and yeah, I mean, it's really good that they're remaking it. It's one of the most popular Star Wars games I would say out there,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I think more people should definitely check it out on Xbox because just to see
Yeah.
what it already was.
Yeah, and I think that if the upscale on Xbox Series X right now is actually really good, I'll go make sure to download it because I haven't played
Mhm.
KOTOR in a long time. I used to own, what was it? It was a 5 pack of Star Wars games. They all came, of course. It was all on individual discs, so the case was really thick. But it had Star Wars
Mhm.
Galaxies, it had Star Wars Republic Commando, it had Battlefront 1 and 2, and then it had KOTOR. So that was when I played KOTOR. It took me a while to actually get to that point to play it, but it's gonna be interesting to see what it looks like upscaled on Series X and especially on that 4K TV upstairs. That's gonna be
Oh
really
yeah.
neat to see. So I'll let you know how that comes out here later on, Kyle. But I guess in the grand scheme of where we're at on Star Wars games right now, of course, the most recent release was Squadrons. We've still got, I think there's a game tie-in that's supposed to be going on with that new series, The High Republic, that's coming out here soon too. Battlefront 2, people are still playing that game. I don't really know if there was anything else in the pipeline for release yet. I mean, hell, even Star Wars: The Old Republic is still kicking. Last I heard, that MMO is still actually running right now.
Oh yeah. It's I want to say it's free to play now, I think.
They went free to play pretty quick because they couldn't keep up
Yeah.
with trying to do subscriptions like World of Warcraft was. So
But, they have all
it's
sorts
not a
of
surprise.
cosmetics and stuff you can buy, and you can buy their in-game currency to use.
This is my shocked face, by the way, Kyle, that there are things you can buy in a free to play game. Anyway, enough of that shocked face. So keep an eye out for when that could be coming down the line. Again, like we mentioned talking about Battlefield, of course, we got EA, or not EA, but we got E3 coming up here in a couple, like literally a month and a half now, actually.
Mhm.
We've got, of course, a bunch of other probably standalone conferences from publishers and the hardware manufacturers, of course, here soon too. So we should be seeing at least some more things starting to come out piece by piece as we get closer to E3, and of course, probably just after E3 too. So be ready to see that. Wouldn't be surprised for it to be there either. Now, of course, we end our evening here with the last story. Kyle's going to talk to us about this one from The Verge, and this one kind of like bummed me out just a tiny bit, but I get why they did it. And we can talk a little bit more about that once we get through the story here. But Kyle, talk to us about Discord and the Microsoft deal. What happened here?
So, Discord reportedly dismisses Microsoft deal. Discord is ending talks to sell itself to Microsoft and or other companies. The Wall Street Journal reports. The popular online chat app was reportedly in talks to sell to Microsoft in March for a price that valued Discord at over $10 billion. Discord was reportedly in talks with at least 3 other companies besides Microsoft. Other past potential suitors include both Amazon and Epic Games, according to Bloomberg. But even with the big name options, Discord has reportedly decided to stay independent and consider a potential public listing to build on its success. Discord has around 140 million monthly users and earned about $130 million in revenue in 2020, but still isn't profitable, according to the Wall Street Journal. Microsoft's interest in Discord has a lot to do with the latter's role as a home for online communities. The app is the destination for creators cultivating their own forums as well as homegrown groups centered on videos and tabletop role-playing games. Outside of its Xbox and Surface devices, Microsoft doesn't have a big consumer-facing way to be a part of most people's day-to-day lives. It's opened up Teams for personal use, but Discord has built-in familiarity and doesn't read as enterprise software. The Wall Street Journal writes that both Discord and Microsoft are still open to renew its talks, but for now, Discord is going to its own way.
And this one kind of, the only reason I say that this bums me out was because I thought we had a pretty good discussion on what the potential could be for a Discord Microsoft, merger, like things coming together. And how things could be integrated in, what we could actually see between console and between PC, and then of course mobile too. It seemed like there were a lot of things there that could end up working out, but Discord decided after probably reviewing some things with itself that it would be better if it stayed on its own. And if it does a public listing, that's cool, but it's got to also work out its the revenue stream. It's also got to work out its own costs as well too. So I guess it's going to depend on exactly what happens when they go public, or if they do, what they're going to end up using that money for. I assume your general infrastructure stuff anyway, and increasing capacity and quality. But Discord's holding up very well. Kyle, you and I use Discord for everything, honestly.
Right.
Save for, of course, using Facebook Messenger right now. But I'm just a little bit bummed about, what could have been, based on what we talked about last week. I thought we had some good ideas there, but it happens.
Well, and they, like they did say, they're not necessarily parting ways permanently, but they Discord still just wants to do its own thing. So
yeah,
it could potentially go that way. We could see the merger happen, but if it does, I don't see it now that it hasn't. I don't see it happening for at least another 2 years.
most likely. I mean, I bet you probably what will happen is that Discord will go public, raise their valuation, and then try to sell again, or at least be acquired at some point in the next few years. So that way it's like $10 billion is one thing now, but let's look at what Microsoft, just paid for Bethesda and, all the money that Sony has thrown into Epic Games as well too. If we keep on seeing that type of money being thrown around, and of course these guys get a valuation of double or triple where they're at, then they're in potentially a better spot. Potentially,
right?
It all depends, of course, on what happens. But the other part, I wonder if maybe is, I wonder if there could have been like a clash in culture between what Microsoft is and what Discord is too.
That is a possibility.
Yeah, because Microsoft has been an established company for well over 3 decades now, and Discord has only been around less than a decade, really. At least I think that's how long it's been. So there could be something about the clashing between the two, that just maybe the ideals and ethics between the two don't line up properly enough for them to actually proceed ahead. So who knows? Something could change down the line anyway. But for now, at least we still got Discord. They're not going away. We can still do this. Everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah. But that was really everything, I think, in the news for this week, though. I think the only couple things, of course, is there was the, just like we talked about Resident Evil 4, there was the Oculus event as well, talking about more games. I didn't get to tune into that to see exactly what else was announced. Did you happen to peek at anything there to see what was going on?
I didn't either. Well, I don't know. VR for me is... I really like VR. I like the idea of VR and playing VR, but it's one of those things. It's kind of an event, hooking everything up and getting it out to play, and it's like, well, that's time I actually have to set aside to play a game. Whereas most games I can just pick up and play.
So let's see here. I just grabbed a list really quick that we can just go over here. So, of course, we got Resident Evil 4 VR, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Episode 2, which this is apparently a crossover game with ILM's X-Lab set inside the Galaxy's Edge world of Batuu. Then we got Star Wars Pinball VR. Lone Echo 2 is a zero-G adventure. I Expect You to Die 2. We've got Carve snowboarding as well. This one though was really interesting to me because Carve Snowboarding. This is made by the people who made 1080 Snowboarding for the N64.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then we've got Pistol Whip, Smoke and Thunder. It's a rhythm game. And then we're also getting After the Fall. This one was made by Arizona Sunshine, or the Arizona Sunshine devs, and it's zombie filled and 80s themed. So those are what was announced there.
I think I saw something for that one. I don't know. I will say I have really wanted to try out that Arizona Sunshine. It just looks like it'd be a ton of fun, just total chaos. But I don't know. Sometimes it's fun to just kill some zombies, but in the right scenario, I don't necessarily like it in my Call of Duty games.
It's not for everybody, so I understand.
Yeah.
I really do. Of course, then you made mention too about Super Nintendo World as well in Japan. So what's happening there, Kyle?
So I guess with the closure of Osaka again, or at least them going into lockdown, the park is temporarily having to close 1 month after opening, which is unfortunate, but it is for the safety of everyone. So
it really is.
We will see it return in the future, in the near future, I will say, but I don't know. I'm still waiting for the one in Orlando to pop up.
Yeah, and if the way things are going here right now too, that'll still be another few years out anyway. So just keep your fingers crossed that maybe it gets built faster, but at the same time, you got those same issues. Was there anything else?
Last one, that Sony streaming service. I just wanted to make quick mention that they killed Sony movies on the PlayStation service for a streaming service. I just did find that a little bit odd, but I guess maybe it'll be interesting to see how the format exists when, it is a service rather than something that you have to pay for on a movie by movie basis.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be something like that, or maybe like digital assets where you can actually purchase the movies and then have a storefront like Vudu where you can log in and play the movies through it. So they keep you invested and coming back.
Once again, I haven't turned on either of my consoles in probably a month. I really should to kind of just see what's going on. And, download some of the games that I've been redeeming on the websites or whatever, but
really need to.
I don't know. I guess they are doing a beta, a short-term beta through PlayStation Plus service, but it is region locked, so I'm not entirely certain on that. I had read that in an article somewhere, but if that's the case, definitely check your region to see if you're one of the ones that's going to be able to check out the streaming service for free before they charge you for it.
Yeah. And then speaking of streaming, I think the last thing I'm aware of is that PlayStation Now did update their streaming quality to 1080p. So PlayStation, So PlayStation Now officially has 1080p support for their streaming service, which, long time coming, I guess, on that one, especially with where things are at now in the world of game streaming. But PlayStation Now is kind of on the lower end of the list for who's actually using it. So whether or not this is a sign of things to come.
And Stadia, I think, is honestly probably one of the better streaming services now, even though that no one plays it.
Yeah, I mean, you burn a lot of people though with what you're promising, and then on launch day, it's like three quarters of the stuff you're promising is not there. And I think there's some justified reason as to at least that one. But at least, Xbox's game streaming, Game Pass has still been very successful. And everything else that's out there is also still very good, though, too, depending, of course, on what you play and how you play. So, but yeah, if you're a person who plays PlayStation Now games, just make sure to go change your settings to play 1080p and have fun with that. But in the meantime, while you go do that, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up here. So, as always, thank you so much for tuning into this week's Weekly News Roundup. Of course, if you're listening to us here on YouTube, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. So when we do go live, we post videos, you will know when those become available and when we're on here to talk to you. Of course, if you are watching us on Facebook, please make sure to hit that like button there on our Facebook page. So anytime new content is posted, which we always do post there, you will be able to go ahead and see that first things first. No problem. So with that, of course, we do have the podcast. Make sure to check out new episodes every Tuesday where Kyle and I are shooting the shit when it comes to video games and video game chaos. Give this last week a good listen because very interesting spin into talking about parenting and not really being prepared to handle teaching your child how to play a competitive video game. Something I'm still working through and will be continuing to work through at least until my youngest is 18 and out the door doing whatever. But anyway, I think that is everything, Kyle. Is that it, dude?
I think that's everything for sure now.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to this week's news live stream. We'll catch you guys all next week.
Laters.